간지나 즉 오늘 sombar tamchaya de som thar khriya dang ane tende ki khapari yore ota kungenjan je parchini yichene yore tamba namge kheche meche kalde kawe teji lajyo na dollar remote bal tabur gyo se kheba namje jengi kellenji je khabore kellenji je sare lor remote banajin chene tempo shibu yore te indigala somba 최밀로 와다 좀 타교에 제도 좀 담자야 돼. 어다 땡기 개발해 버렸어.
Next verse, the second verse, is again a very kind of common, we see in most of the text, sort of commitment or a promise to compose this text. And there are many reasons why they come up with this second verse. In one of the great master Kunchen Jamyang Shiva, in his document, he mentioned that great scholars they don't make many commitments or promises, but whatever they make, it would be like carving on the stone, very very stable, and they will make sure that. Whatever plan or dedication or commitment they have, they will complete it.
Oda dizungwa penven june so pe sanginam tamche tuple chungse teyangne te lalen shela ralepe yalsenamne lale shepracha zo oda de disungore tangone penbada dewen june sangi 점된데 다 그 하게 민네비 냥데 조베상기 고방들이 이 두비아데 말한수 람탑시니 냠술라네 가까지 율zem바니데 모시베네 고조데 텐던데바 링인 제투베고네 아니 람탑시니 냠렌지 답다셰랍니 냠렌지 이 냠렌지 발더니 담체 주네 가래 쉬고 있잖네 아니 오늘 상기기 천상레라 갈바 빠메기 손음 사고 같은 수도아 인디들가 즉 담지 줌네 에니베 두발세니 에니베 조베 상기 고만도르 디 용야 돼 라렌 에니베 장주세베 라렌데 답베 즉 하기는 라마츠베니 요아 가르사 준비 퍼진 것도나 심지 레리치안 나르메베 맹행 가부 찍은 내가 니지 미교 짜주 쳐주는 준비 퍼진 서버 징기로 그래서 송도와 어다 때나지 심진 찍이 돈달라 아니페 깔빠망부 냐වෙ네 내고 주나 된제 가와 캐틀렌 통에 진디기 장주 세배 엔베 지금 라렌데서 할레비 답에 즉 가르쳐 거래 예 돈인체 통에 남주의 인상 코 돈렌데 제바이나 돈다 첨부시 쭉 거라 어다 땡디기 남주의 인데겐 땡네네 라렌데 세보진에는 배 니나라 셰긴 저 담자 어다 담자 두스나래 어다티 시부지게 첨부차디가래 오늘에 팬딘 중에 오늘에 소바상기 고방스인데 팬바다 되어 타 인중내래 강라 에니베 상기 템바 네비 기부 담바지 인제 때 투자 뉴래 간제 미날 지소나라 상기 페나 빼잖아 좀 겨울음 지단다 가봐 주디나 겨울음 주시 네텔라 직 덴데기 라블링당 덴데 용아 빼꼼보래 데메니 다 줄루기 쪼바 에니베 접시기 쪼바사 전혀 마보지 레잉도 경그럼 지기 칼로 레레나나 미 샌달 가수치 가르쳐 거래 지데 튼투부도 말한주 니돈 주나라 컨스크리 필나라 미똥란 주좀데 짬댕이 지데 밥을 가전데기도 티 가르 투레 가르니 바래 gemgono buchigi kuto chubshi ringla chamba san tsewe nyamle nawe di 젤레스나미도 딘 듀스나미도 다텐시 용과 다 점된 데게 두기게 틀리데 롱이송 알게 이러라 두기야 차거다 롱이송 두기링라 점된 지텔레 패레 단다야 이 틀리네 만년바 빼 시대 빠베토니 상기 템바데 지디 빠베스니 오늘 냠는 적인지기 지대 빠베 생도 다치 카케니 적인지 니수 카가라와 와다 두스레 텐디가 오네티 네트론 치마치진지 셰셰게요 말라 오네 디 나랑 고소잖아 디 오네 돈다 첨부지 땡기요베데 성그도스
the verse reads, the fully enlightened victorious Buddhas, from whom all true pleasure and benefits derive, have reached their attainment by following Dharma and leading their lives through these noblest of paths. To live by the Dharma depends on full knowledge of how we must practice and what we must do. Thus, I'll attempt now a brief explanation of what is the practice of all Buddha's sons. So here, at the very beginning, you see true pleasure and benefits. Both of these are the result of enlightenment, fully enlightened, victorious Buddhas. And so Buddhahood or enlightenment is the true sources of, authentic happiness and benefits. And in order to attain that kind of Buddhahood or enlightenment, it says, one must follow Dharma, the teachings of Buddha. Here, in brief, we can say that by identifying and recognizing, knowing a true truth, and then going next into the engaging in the actual practice, the path and wisdom, and that leads to the attaining of enlightenment. And attaining of enlightenment through the practice of Dharma is something that requires immense practice, long time. When we look at the Buddha's qualifications of his body, signs, just for one auspicious sign or enlightened sign of the Buddha's body, it takes eons and eons to accumulate positive merits. And and leading their lives through these noblest of paths. In Guru Yoga practice, the chanting book, we find mention of when engaging in the practice of diligence or effort, we find mention of how bodhisattvas engage in the practice. Just for the sake of one sentient beings, they are willing to suffer eons and eons in the deepest hell suffering, and that kind of dedication. And in the prayer it says, may I bless with this kind of diligence or effort. So therefore what this entails is that how enlightened beings kind of benefits others and their level of dedication. So here author kind of making this commitment or promise at the end when he says, thus I will attempt now a brief explanation of what is the practice of all Buddha's sons, the practice of bodhisattvas basically. He will attempt his best to explain briefly of this practice of Dharma that is practiced by bodhisattvas. So here we can use an example of practitioners such as His Holiness. Wherever he goes and visits, it brings calmness, peacefulness, no kind of conflicts. And when he gives kind of teachings, lectures and speeches, how much that kind of benefits and brings, peacefulness of the mind to the followers. And we have that experience in 2010 when His Holiness gave, teachings in the Conseco Field House, and then in downtown, and those were the blessings, and that is the result of, in His Holiness' case, 14 continuous reincarnations, and their kind of practice of loving kindness and compassion. And in case of Buddha Shakyamuni, it's now almost 2,600 years of his passing away, but still, because of the blessings and benefits that we can derive from his teachings, if engaged in authentic practice, one can attain a great calmness, peacefulness from the teachings and practices. So therefore, although Kajira is saying that he does not know how to explain in a much better way, but he sees a great importance in this second verse.
상기 좀 된 데시야데 다 소니조 dimni 장네 다 딥지기 디바 찌메겐지라 아니 상기 좀 된 데세 스거 얼마다 젠스거 얼마 다때 인디가라 덴바니 람 탑싱이 시도와 추구 남바니 데 두보아 셔럽 냠는 제발때니 추구 남바니 데 아니 장주기 sem탑 니지 첨배소비 장주기 셈 냠린체네 아니 주구 남바니데 두고아래 주구 때라 다 룽구 용거래 아니 초구두구 용거래 아니 초구두 룽구데 초구두구라 천상보 숨주장이 배제상보 개주 용거래 대소강의 유매를 두 말와 소놈 라포치 사고 거래 소놈 사고에 코 딘디지 디부 양다버지 두베 통하이나 갈릭캡 두그러와 갈릭캡을 꼬바이가 통그러와 제 밀라레베 가수치 캡도 맞죠 만체지 거기 미 디부 양다버데 마통두가라 아니 맞죠 셈중구 셈라 줌발리고 줌베 폼발레 타르그 마레 zen고 물루루 수도와 이 여름지 양네 내데 자베된 제마선데 여름지 영내도 롱장난도 줌베 폼발레 타르그 마레 땡어 마레 말도 까르 줌데 줌셈 줌데네 까르 펜다요 셈레 징토거 셈라 양 디부양 타바도 토이나 셈레 징토 레그리 셈네네 포 토알레그리 셈니 네네 포팔레그리 때 시부지게 쳔버는 가서 포파다 셈징토에 시부지게 쳔버리 줌바 땐 자완인 지겨 말 띠 가서 줌바티기 가서 카툴리 지그리 수수수 남주 매서 그래 띠 지겨 말이스 어다 디기 림바데는 닌지부도 와스 당보 상기 좀 된데 담치 두발레더니 중어리 담치 두에대야 라렌 시구리 라렌 시발라 인 라렌 칸데 칸데 지구에 메 갈치 장주스베 라렌 칼치면 공기 시긴 서도 수응도 갈라 배 림바다 칸데 닝지부지 숭구두스
To attain enlightenment or Buddhahood, in brief, we say one must accomplish accumulations of accomplish two accumulations, and one must also purify two obscurations, and the result will be enlightenment. And in the practice of path, we talk about method and wisdom. Wisdom leads to the attaining of two bodies of truth body of Buddha, and a method leads to the attaining of the two forms of enlightenment, or two forms of body, complete enjoyment and emanation body. And these complete enjoyment and emanation bodies possess, as many of you know, 32 major and 80 minor signs. All of those requires accumulations of positive merits, and those are the results of positive merits. And because of when you look at the end result of what you are going to attain through your practice, when you are able to see the end result, that alone becomes immense, encouraging forces. For that sake, we can look at Milarepa's, effort and his diligence and his practice. And many of us are not engaging seriously in the practice is because we are not able to see the end result of the practice. And so when you see the end result, it becomes kind of, the such as the state of enlightenment or Buddhahood, that becomes the object of encouragement, sources of inspiration, gives you encouragement, determination. And otherwise, staying in the state of discouragement doesn't help you to free from that kind of state, as His Holiness kind of mentions. And discouragement becomes your own kind of the cause of downfall and closing of your own intelligence, not letting you to kind of move forward. And the sequences of how it is presented here is very kind of beautiful. The author kind of starts with saying that victorious the Buddhahood is the origin of all pleasure and benefits, and that Buddhahood is the result of Dharma. And for that Dharma, one must know the path of noblest of path, and therefore the author is going to attempt to explain that the noble path or practice of Bodhisattvas.
오야 지 로션 리스레 야 달저 두친 내가 톱디인들 라진 코로이솔렌 잘지지 닌다세도 야 매바니 인생공 바갈살라린 살다 다 오니 야스 장주 세바게 라렌 땅보다 다시고래 말아서 달와게 저와 주차와 밀르는 뭐 딘디지 톱에 뒤선데라 살라그래 아니 아랑 아니 라진 아니 코로와 동알 갸솔레니 달위시도 다 닌당 센 여메바 다 여메 시디갈라얀 가르소리 가르소래 장주기 셈 곰이야 아니 동이 또벨 따와단 줌드네 곰이야라 에베 닌다 센 닌는 좀 아주 직 상하게 tunturla 맨날 저도 동고다 오다 되나 진짜네 인생 요함에 베거네 아니베 장주기 셈이 지다 만들어졌네 에 아니베 셈전 타젤라 아니베 니르메바 아니베 랑기 에 륜짐버제베 만나신기 아니베 제베 장제 도수냠는 제국으로 그래서 오다 대순 거래 인도가 뭐네 개첨버래 아니 나는 좀 밀리를 붙이신데 양양도 토해야 말에 가버리 아니 전주나라 송도아 가르사 미둘러 세네니 가르사 미둘러 세나니 동알치 첼레토 둔디 친도 녀가베 몽베트스 니말로 세야데 오니 삼로타나 지 뭐말이도와 알아서 딜리 미레파 미 남주 양다버지 단다톱디요레 왕복현제 말이 삼로다나 삼로땅 투비야요레 베잘타 투비야요레 냠렌체 투비야요레 오다 달와게 저와주 달와게 세두갈라 즉 갈켄다 달웨고네 달와레 저와주는 튕게 차오고네 저와시고레 아니 갈켄 달 튕겐 좀 딘디지 여디갈라 단주 저주 상에 밀리를 붙였은 것도 와다 덴디지도 왔다 뛰인데가라 당원에 다서 상기 템바 내세 추림 리우레 네베 템바레 딘디디가라 엔 랑이 냠낸 제나 아니 또바 유레 기룬 차디요레 냠낸 맞잖아 아니 누르빌링 침바이나 nor ken manas serling ni chine ser ke manas la ton yo de chiba chigare tangana zu mi nam tsumbarna nam shiti sandu dande ene soe kaki le gewadan mi gewe karna ge ye jen dugiru mado nga nyen ze tia yo mare ni lama yin ze de dejate khabore ne pombo ze dejate tia yo mare 니 규찰라 사샤이즈레 개야요 말이 어떻게 인디가라 뭐네 말아주 직 가격이 선선 담절레 미네 아니베 냠는지 장주기 셈 야니 양도 데 경고름 송도 장주기 셈 고메 좀발내야 돼 시부지 선암 사그리 선양 송도 데 상기 추도메 단제니 아니 닐레솜 첸레솜 야니 양도 소소 이 렘바이나 몰 semke molam tsudu leya yore tengi tune leya yore digidi sangi choso chomdende salte eni sangi choso mande eni rangi tamjache eni tirin sone nemi ne kirime ne semje tamjegi tondange chikni tosje molam gune semji kekina penda yongores oda tila eni ninde tsedu yawa mezini seya onere ngaransu nilo tikala 니 말로는 좀거 최근에 누구하래 지지나 닌 로고하래 니 로고가라 굴론데 chanju기 셈교군에 짐베고니 니 로바이나 니 차가 chanju 셈라 냠는 차고하래 어다 데라왜 chanju기 셈디야 아혼 투바면도 그런 율 코랑원에 투아시 땐 사와니 만에 썸데 아니 가격이 셈전 담적이 아니베 바기 삼로다데 랑원 마투바 덴버 마투바 텐디사나 디야 장주기 셈데 송인 도벨타이 진도고are 디 짐바이나 탑시 준도기 냠는 니데 탑시 준도 냠는 키라도와 뭐네도와 어다 대가나지 가서 뒤니 숨 간디바이나 시네자서 되걸 처음에서 시작도 아까뒤나 되디가라 네베 자야데 아니 위드 초구와래 네 위드 심정기 전기 던지야라 초구도 선데 칼라디 카나레 판두가라 때 삼로 담바이나 그건 로에도와 자 칼라자 거래 두 시군론 굴론 펜베왕기 고개와 규래요래 굴론 펜베왕이 미개와라 규래요래 어다 텐디 삼로다네 네베 직 가장 지심절미는 두시는 년심 오늘 자되어라. 근데 년심 조금 두이나 전주습에 냠는 다 레당보에 냠는 존지 당보대 뒤차고 그랬는데 펜돈 된데 열에서와 와도 두시 삼노탄상간에 개발 전부 열에서
Page 7, next verse. This sound human body endowed with full leisure, an excellent vessel rare to be found. Since now we have obtained one in no way deficient, let's work night and day without veering off course to cross the ocean and free from samsara, not only ourselves but all others as well. First listen, think hard, then do much meditation. The sons of the Buddhas all practice this way. So it begins with difficulties in attaining a precious human rebirth. Commonly we say human body with 8 leisure and 10 endowments. And when attain this extremely rare precious human rebirth, one must use this human body as a ship or cruise cruise to cross, the ocean of samsara or suffering. And therefore, for that purpose, it says, let's walk night and day without veering, of course. For that, engage in not yourself, but for the sake of others, listening, contemplation, and meditation. And in the practice of Vajrayana, we find, 3 practice during daytime, 3 practice during night. So 6 cycle of practice, continuous practice. Equally kind of, engaging and benefiting all sentient beings equally. And we also find kind of same mention in the meaning mentioned in the Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. By relying upon this, human body, precious human body, which is like a ship, one must use this to, to go across the ocean of samsara. And he kind of emphasized saying that do not kind of stay in the state of kind of sleeping, and don't waste your precious human rebirth, because it is extremely rare to have this kind of, state again. And a common understanding that why human, body is precious. With human intelligence, we can accomplish a lot. We have ability or capabilities of not only kind of listening, seeing, but able to understand and comprehend the meaning of the scriptures and text, put it into practice, attain the result. So when you have all these abilities and not doing it is complete kind of wastage, of this precious human ability. And here when we talk about, leisure and endowment, leisure in terms of not having those, obstacles that otherwise we might face. And when it talks about endowments, 10 endowments, it talks from the point of view of having all kind of, factors and conditions that is needed to put your human body into its best possible way. This era in Buddhist understanding is considered as the era of, discipline or morality, and therefore, if you engage in the practice, attaining of the result is still feasible, is attainable, and so very kind of appropriate timing with this, complete, ability of human body, precious human rebirth. And when you don't practice and just kind of, waste it, it would be like, kind of going to treasure land and coming back with empty-handed, a complete wastage of our own ability and capability. So at the time of leaving this body by our consciousness, nothing can, help us, whatever that we worked so hard during our lifetime, accumulations of wealth, your teachers or your masters or leaders, nothing, you can carry nothing except, the positive, virtuous actions that you created. And and therefore kind of, engaging in the practice so that you can make your precious human rebirth meaningful, listening, contemplation, and meditation. You can use such simple practice as, recitations of the refuge prayer, as His Holiness often advised, and recitations of refuge prayer you can use that to generate, altruism in the form of prayers, and you can also receive, the vows of altruism through, from the altar or basis, and make kind of commitments to do your best to use your life in the most kind of meaningful way. Not only during daytime, but at night when going to sleep, by generating, proper or virtuous motivation, you can, you can turn sleep into something very positive, virtuous. And kind of generating, of course, altruism to every sentient beings. Along with that, contemplating on the lack of inherent existence of everything. That becomes a combined practice of both wisdom and method. And with that, you can go to sleep and transform sleep into, positive action. And even such kind of small thing as, having a snacks or eating, when you generate with kind of, positive, eat with the positive intention. I'm eating this to survive so that I can benefit for other sentient beings. Generating that kind of motivation can make your simple task, virtuous. No.
Oda tanda nyeti na selvar esrawa ni la gewa da migawa luma sin yode oda nyeti na lungda de salam na la pe sebu sungore isu kanka ani khala zaya da nganazo kulon dane tendem gewa yutuya yore oda ti sanga toba tombalana tarung tele chi karsore yang Zimbabwean yore. Otati ngoni nganazo kulonde katu inna kulonde pembe semjida janjuki semgi zimbaji karjiba inna di pe kechembore di janjuki semgi zimbaji na ani 이게 좀 살찐 bayina 그래서 손을 납 전부 사고래 어떻게 개첨버리지 다 양거르머지 양양도 송도 안 nem보진 송도 단다 상기 추조마다 내니 샘기기 동발해야 돼 닌는 숨 챈는 숨 레나 야보여르스데 같이 챈라이 챈는 숨스디가라 제 말아서 집어지기하래 인지민지 챈하고나 야라나 니제고 말에 만 조개야라니 아니 상기 추조마 네 살숨지네 원다니가라가 살숨인데 뒤에네 배 니지기 민남 장배고네 네 장주기 샘삼마땅 네 배 땡기도네 두스지네 랭긴 삼데 두스지네 네 배 더블로키 네 배가 배 어디 전주 심자를 미쳤던데 아니 전주나나 지신노가네 받은 로아티스니기 디시다게네 로에송하다고 세워셔서데 됐는데 뭐라면 아버지 갓 아니 니로디가라 로야 파파도 실레 지냐나 니데 기부고 니람나 상부시 땅그래 빼야보용 그래 대마도 미게가 차당 무슨 뭐하잖아 니에 막고 니람데 수나친지다 마이키보용 그래 진짜가 아주 왜 대화래 누구한테 동갈래 대위 유튜브에 대화 좀 걸어 맞아 대위 유 쭈니 또나 맞아지 대화 거기서나다 용야 매백하자래 어떻게 दूसरे इन्हें गरां तो कांचे बेसुचने देवादिया बेसुचने 용거래 देवी 규된 बेसुचने देवी 규 두고르마도 동al 규데 베즈네 동al 규 방고르마도 베스 규는 맞아 두스네 용야 코나요 말이스 아니 드린디가 자 니케는 뒤저 이네 티와 당스
पेज थर सम के नि
ला 녀티
닐티
녀티요 사캬기 개바치 송리 사캬
닐티레
녀티
더자 가래는 냐라 닐레
냐 디가세데 디
알레 닐티케 알레 about the practice of sleep and generating good intention while eating. About the sleep, we find this mentioned in the text called the scriptures on sleeping by a great Sakya master. Generating a proper motivation and then transforming sleep into a virtuous action. So this all depends very much on as we always say, intention. Generating intention of benefiting others and altruism, and then engaging in the work, and that kind of transforms into a positive. And even just kind of reciting 6-syllable mantra with, good intention can have a great positive impact. And as I mentioned earlier, His Holiness kind of advised generating, altruism through refuge prayer 3 times a day, 3 times a night. It doesn't have to be kind of, when it says 3 times a night, you get up in the middle of the night. In the morning, you can recite 3 times and then, kind of go through the process. At night, before going to sleep, recite 3 times and then, have a short contemplation of generating compassion, altruism, and then generate that you attained or you receive, this vow, either from your altar or, and ending up with kind of reciting short prayers like, the prayer of altruistic mind or Bodhisattva prayer, and also another prayers that we find in Shantideva's book, as long as, space remains, as long as sentient beings remains, may I too remain to dispel the misery of all sentient beings. You can recite those prayers and then, kind of conclude the practice. And with that state of mind going to sleep, you can have a, sound sleep with very kind of good dream, instead of going to sleep with all kind of, mind states of lots of kind of, complications and difficulties. Both, suffering and happiness, we all know that we are after attaining happiness and not, kind of abstaining from suffering. To happen that, it happens only when you, when it is preceded by its own cause. Without cause, there won't be result. So, without planting the seed and expecting the result would be kind of, contradiction. It doesn't work. So, and to plant the seed, it requires intentional kind of, effort, work. So, with that, we'll stop here for today. Yeah.
So we have a lot of examples of how to gain merit and work toward altruistic mind with prayers and rituals. Can you give some examples of how, or can we attain altruistic mind and merit also by external actions in the world with other sentient beings in this lived reality that we have? And what are some examples of how that might occur? And would that merit be equal, or is there a basis of the same equality of gaining merit that way as with prayers and rituals?
소사의 수남사의 저걸 계시라고 망보성 빼되는 망보성 손사. 다른다 그 심계기 냠랜데 아니 심계 심발아 응외스랑 심발아 편인치네 아니 단다 지게 초가 차례를 동버되는 데는 신기 아니 뉴발로 편도 열외로도 응외서 치료를 하라고 치료기 락랭 돈에 심계 semgene kalore tigi sunam soyada sozo yorweldo
대대여대 때문에 경고를 무슨도 왔으러와 돈이 또별 따와 다 경고를 무지 강사가 다음에 라빠 애니베 두도 중앙에는 참호 가로지 영양 통도 인디가라 돈이 또별 따와기 바기 셈라 말한주 딜레 창주기 셈검나 때만 타도 애니베 추에 녀몽데 되게 매차다 아니 셈기 지데 두별 창주기 셈기 누바체도 점거를 숨도 왔어. 근데 냠용도 듣는 숨고 알데 겨 점거를 재미 우걸 나야 되더니 일단 싸워기니요 말해. 빈도가랑 안도 저게 떠서 니지 미남잖아 가지고 창주기 셈라다 디마카가 와. 니지 떠서 미남지 삼단 투이나 니만 강보 셈데 떠서 마추지 야본데기도 와. 맞아 녀모 예지지동 율된자여마다 람중 넘바지 켈렘 바래. 젠 때마다 젠바 맞아 강가 녀모 문줄 원두길 쳐졌진데 디어래. 이나코 니제 쇼게 미남 멤버 직장tum나 대자디 니말라 르르 자기가다 뇽을 두고도 왔어. 어다 대만이 받지 장주기 셈다 델기야 미남 장tum이지나 다 연줄 동줄이 용그리스. 디데 윤이 셰 먹어 자디어래. 다도 가서 좀 많이 비니지디 귤레케야라 또 갈판 gorsigri ngasonishina ina yang regisamji kwaji de tone semjen tamje dungal kyonde eni kundana buje bage minum kyantana jinji regisamji samadain dugala samdela ikhu ji samlo kordigala semdelelo ji zogudwa kadinata yongmido marazo kompaya marwa.
So of course, with altruism, when you engage in kind of benefiting other sentient beings or others externally, can 100,000, accumulates more, kind of 100,000 more than through, rituals or chanting. And His Holiness, from his own experiences, he used to say that although he has reached quite high level of understanding of emptiness, but the experience that he has with the altruism is very immediate and much more powerful than the experiences that he has with emptiness in terms of benefiting other sentient beings or others. For us, let alone kind of altruistic practice, but small kind of practice of compassion can be immensely beneficial in accumulations of positive merits or benefiting others. And we, as an ordinary human being, are under the influence of 84,000 heaps of afflictions, and we are in a state where we are easy to kind of express those negativities. So through the practice of compassion, whether it be kind of fake or artificial, it can benefit to kind of stay, benefit to stay in a very calm and peaceful mood. So to attain kind of authentic, compassion state of mind, for him, she was saying that it might take still kind of 100 eons, but merely kind of the understanding of compassion and then try to kind of maintain that and implement that can sometimes help him to kind of stay in the very peaceful and relieving and kind of comfortable state of mind.
Yeah.
Semjo rembo che maje banam che jo che jawa nyamba me ba yang
kone kondo pewa rasho kari rave
kowe jingam je pendan dewa ma lu jongwe ne che
Chere
ziwa den jin jo so yin shabe si de ba to ten jo Bayu jidara kemba dan kondo zambo de an de jindo de da gungi jesu andaro jin gyawa de da tamje rabdo jesum shebe gyawa tamje ge ngowa khanla chodo ngaba de da jin ge sawa de ge zambo jeje rabdo ngowa raiki. The line in the circle of mountains, the source of all happiness and benefits, Lord, in your person, generous attains in yours who remain eternal samsara ends, just as the Bodhisattva usually attain all missions, and summon the Vajra to send on to educate these men to train and follow in their footsteps. As all the victorious Buddhas of past, present, and future, praise education to supreme. So now I do dedicate this source of my merit for all beings to perfect good actions.
Thank you.
Thank you.